Mystic Falls was built on secrets, on founding families who smiled in the parade and burned people in the church. On the idea that if you keep up appearances long enough, the truth will never catch up to you. Tonight is Founders Day, and every single thing this town has been hiding all season is about to come apart at once. Welcome to the finale of Bloodlines and Backdrops. Welcome back. I'm your host, Amber Janae. I'm here with Presley.
I'm here.
We are at the porch of the Gilbert House. Told you guys, if some of you came by this weekend and talked to us at the convention, then you knew that little seeky seat is that we were going to be recording the finale on location, and this is the location. I can't believe that we have already hit 22 episodes.
I know.
This is crazy. This feels wild. I'm so excited. We've seen your emails and all your comments about the podcast and all the messages that you send us. Yeah, we're just so excited to be doing this. I can't believe it's the finale though. Here's what's really crazy is we've had some stuff going on the last few weeks, some personal stuff between us and a couple of our hosts. And basically we've had to keep pushing back the finale, but it worked out because the day that this is airing is actually going to be the day that the season 1 finale of the show also aired. So
how crazy is that?
That's fun that it worked. It's almost like all that stuff happened for a reason. Yep. So if you commented that, apparently it's also Candace's birthday. Candace's birthday is not the right answer for what we were looking for, although you were right. That is significant to the show. But what we were looking for was that it was the season 1 finale. And yeah, so if you got that, you got that. But guys, this episode's going to be huge. We have so much to talk about. So,
and before we jump into it, I just want to say I might be the first person to have my butt cheeks on Elena's steps.
That might be.
My shorts are so short, my whole butt's just out.
Cheers to the finale, though. We're going to pop one. Miller Lite does not promote us or any of that, but
no sponsors. Just
no sponsors or anything.
I can't open up my fingernails.
Season finale of Bloodlines and Backdrops. It's not gonna help. We're gonna do that again. All right, so the episode opens. You think it's a flashback. It looks like it's 1864. So you think it's a flashback until you see Aunt Jenna kind of be like, suck it in, girl.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is when she was putting on her 1800s
Which is
clothes.
really cool. Really cool for them to do. I always love that scene.
It was fun because the way Stefan was getting ready, the way she was getting ready, you thought it was about to be another flashback with Stefan and Catherine, and it wasn't. You know, Stefan already had that outfit. He didn't have to borrow that from school. That wasn't in the school costume closet. He was like, no, I got something at home that will work. Yeah.
And I told you about this because like the very next scene, that's when Damon and Stefan are talking, and Stefan's like, Elena could never be Catherine, and then she walks out,
and she walks out, and they're
Catherine.
all like,
yeah,
because they couldn't believe it.
But I was telling you that Nina does this face when she plays Catherine, and the second they go to talk to her, she drops that face, and then you see Elena again.
And honestly, Elena felt like she had a baby face this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I was like, she kind of seems like she has a little baby face this episode.
I've always said, you can always tell who is who. When they are on screen, you can always tell who's Catherine, who's Elena. Very easy to tell. And I think it's because Nina does that little thing with her eyes. She has like different eyes whenever she's playing Catherine.
Almost the same way you can tell when Damon cares and when Damon doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah, it's almost similar to that.
But I love that little opening scene. I thought that was so cute.
And I don't think she even put 2 and 2 together right there at that moment. I don't think she was like, oh, they think I look like Catherine. No. I don't think she had put that together.
I think she was just feeling herself. I would have been like, oh.
I know.
Gotta go work on my little house on the prairie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, well, I'd be a trad wife for a Salvatore. Jeremy and Anna are so cute. And Anna is really sad about Uncle John killing her mom. But I gotta say, in this moment, it did sound like Jeremy was defending Uncle John. Even Anna was like, are you defending him? And he's like, no, but he's just doing what he thinks is best, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bruh,
and
what?
I don't know. It felt like when people try to defend like their racist uncle.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, he was just raised that way.
Or it doesn't make sense how Jeremy will defend Matt but then he's mad at Damon and Stefan for doing what they did to Vicky. It's the same thing. Like, they thought they were doing what was best. It just happened to be someone you cared about.
I was a little over Jeremy and Anna this episode. I can't even lie. I was so like, anyway. Let's just go to something else.
Jeremy was a lot this episode.
Yeah, Jeremy was a lot. I think he's still hot and I love him, but like, I was kind of just over him at one point. I was like, okay, anyway.
Well, she says, look, if you want to be together forever, here's my blood. Mm-hmm. And he's basically like, I don't know, you're not Vicky. This is like another reminder where he's like, I don't know. I mean, there was a time that I wanted to do that, but it's not now. He's like, I'm not really interested in it, but he still takes the blood and puts it in his pocket. Shortly after that, Stefan tells Elena about Uncle Daddy John. Mm-hmm. And she's like, are you sure he's my dad? And he's like, I mean, I'm not sure, but pretty sure, like, all the pieces put together. You should probably, have a conversation with him about it. And she was like, I'm never going to be ready for that conversation, which is not true. She's ready for it by the end of the episode.
It was also a crazy place to tell her, too. They were just, like, at school. And he's like, by the way, I know who your real dad is.
What was crazy, too, is that I felt bad for Elena because Elena was like, I've disliked this man my entire life. Yes. She's like, there's not a redeeming quality about Uncle John at all. She's not a fan of his.
I don't think anybody is.
Fandom,
show, I don't think
none of them. None of them. He's just Uncle John is the Lori of The Walking Dead. If you were ever a Walking Dead fan, everybody hated Lori. Jeremy basically tells Elena to F off. Yeah. And you know what? I'm on his side about this because we've talked multiple times about how they really try to play off that Jeremy's like this little baby. Mm-hmm. And it's so weird. Like, he's not a baby. No. He's only a year younger than Elena. 4 times her size, by the way. He's bigger than Stefan and Damon. Honestly. And they act like he's a little baby who can't handle anything. Oh, we got to protect you. We got to keep all this stuff from you. But it's like, that doesn't make sense. Why? At this point, he's like, just be truthful about everything. There should be no more secrets.
My favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes, I think, with Damon all time is right as that's happening. Damon walks up and is like, talking to Jeremy, and he's like, F you too. And he's like, yeah, you're not going to talk to me that way. I'm not your sister. Don't ever say that to me again. Yeah. I feel like in my head, that's one of the iconic Damon scenes. Yeah. Is that little part with him
I also
and Jeremy.
love Jeremy snaps back at him too. And he's like, what are you going to do? Kill me because I hurt her feelings?
Yeah. And then he tells him, he's like, before you even scream, I'll have you dead. So maybe.
Yeah. So maybe actually, you're actually.
I might actually do that. We'll see.
And here's the thing. Like, I do think after they came in and said a lot of this was our fault, because later in the episode, and we talk about that, they kind of both like let Jeremy know that everything was on him and they were doing what they could do to protect Elena. He still just doesn't care. It's Elena's fault to him. And they kind of betrayed each other. He went through her journal when he wasn't supposed to do that.
Yep.
It's how I felt mad about what he found in the journal, and that's not necessarily fair.
I don't know, because I also understand Jeremy, because let my sister do that to me.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. Now, Damon, speaking of like being genuine and lying and all that stuff, I think that Damon thanking Bonnie for deactivating the device was probably the most genuine he's been the entire series.
Yes. That too. This is around this time. Can't stand that Donovan. Hate him. He is in this episode.
Right, he is in this.
But he is the only like actual teenage representation in the episode. When he's on that float, all of the other ones are like, yeah. And then Matt Donovan's like, yeah, I'm on the float.
Yeah,
he's I don't know. It was cute. I thought he was the only one that was like, seemed really excited to be on the parade float.
He's still also mad at Tyler. Let's bring that up. Like, he's like, hey, dude, like, so pissy. You made out with my mom. Like, and not only did he make out with his mom, but like beat him up. Mm-hmm. And so Caroline
That's actually my quote for this. That's my quote.
Caroline explains it to Tyler. She's like, I don't know how you don't get, like, sorry is not enough. That's not enough. John and the mayor are having to talk about the device because we as the audience know that Bonnie did not deactivate the device. And the mayor's like, hey, this is too much of a risk on our town, on our kids. Like, our children are here. And Uncle John's like, I don't give 2 shits. This is the only way that we're going to get them to come out from hiding. And we can kill them all with one sweep. To me, at least in this episode, it feels like he doesn't care that much about Elena until Elena tells him she knows. Yes, because it feels like in this moment right here where the mayor's like, hey, and even shortly after when they go and see Sheriff Forbes is like, no, this is a terrible idea. And then Uncle John knocks her out.
Which was crazy. I did not remember that happened. When I was watching, I was like, yo, whoa.
Yeah, like, knocks her out. Like, and everybody's like, what the hell? So John's got a Like,
he just seemed like
he thinks he's protecting Elena by killing Damon and Stefan. Here's the thing. Earlier in the series, when Elena's like, I already had all this bad stuff. No, you didn't, girl. No, you didn't.
No.
Like, you had bad stuff in your life, but you didn't have vampires coming after you.
Yeah, like your parents died.
Yeah,
then,
like, yes. So I
it.
get that part. The thing is now it's too late. Like, everything is out of the bag. So why would you not want her to be protected? The ones that you're killing are not the only vampires in the world.
No.
Like, at any point, more vampires could come to Mystic Falls looking for Elena because she looks like Catherine.
God knows what Catherine's been doing all this time.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sure.
So that part about Uncle John really frustrates me. He thinks he's doing what's best, but I mean, you got to keep at least one of the Salvatores alive at this point.
Yeah.
So Elena and Damon have a talk. She says, I want to be friends, but you got to start flirting with me. Like, you got to stop doing your little eye thing. You got to start flirting with me. And then she goes to Jeremy and she gives Jeremy a speech about how she's going to be better, blah, blah, blah. And he says, you can go to hell, Elena. And then gets up and walks off. Twice in the episode, he told her to go F herself. And this is right after when Damon confronts Jeremy. He tells him to chill out. He threatens him. And Stefan steps in and says, I'm the one that killed Vicky. I don't think Jeremy knew that. And so it took him a second to
process.
Yeah, that's the word. Like, it took him a second, like, when you could see him, like, not like gasp, but you could see that he was shocked when Stefan said that.
I'm going to be very honest. I don't think I realized that's what was going on in that scene. I think I was a little distracted when that part was going on because I knew Stefan stepped in.
Because Jeremy looked so hot?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But no, I forgot that happened. That kind of shocked me a little bit too.
Yeah, okay, so like, so if you had forgotten, then yeah. He's like, Damon turned her, I killed her, and then Elena did what she thought was best by hiding that from you. What Elena is guilty of is not anything that happened to Vicky. Like, what happened to Vicky is not Elena's
Well, that's also
fault.
the thing. Like, Jeremy has to realize there's not, like, handbooks for this shit.
No,
like, it's not like,
there's not at all.
Oh, how to tell my brother that my boyfriend's a vampire.
Yeah, it's there's not. Idiot's Guide to.
We need to make that a shirt. Idiot's Guide to Boyfriend Being a Vampire.
Yeah, something like that. Because that's just too crazy. Too crazy. Anna goes to the Tomb Vampires and pretends like she's going to be with them. Yep. And honestly, in that moment, I thought she was. I thought she had switched sides. I thought she was so upset with Jeremy and what he said about not wanting to take her blood that she was like, okay, then I'm just going to go to the other side. But then you realize she was trying to get the info. She goes to Damon. She tells Damon everything. And Damon's like, oh, we don't have to worry about it. The device is not going to go off. She was like, then a lot of people are going to get hurt. So then Damon goes to find Alaric at that point. Because I guess they're going to just try to play vampire hunter. Even though I don't know that he knows who every tomb vampire is.
No, and I think she really is just so upset about her mom dying. And her mom didn't want to work with them. Right. So I didn't really think she was going to. I had faith in her.
And then that's when Damon says to Stefan and Elena, 15 words or less.
Yes.
Get out of here. And Stefan's like, what? And he's like, more than 15 words. And keeps walking off. But he's like, get Elena out.
And Elena's like, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm saving your life.
I'm saving your life. I'm saving everybody's life. I need you to get out of here. And at that point, you also see the mayor do the same thing with his kid. So he goes into the grill. He begs Tyler and Matt and Caroline to get out of there. He gives them the keys to his car. My car's out back. Yep. Get as far away from here as you can. Because we know at this point it's a 5-mile radius. Now, we have our hunches about the Lockwood family, but you don't know for sure.
Something weird is going on with them.
You don't know for sure yet about the Lockwood family, but you really... Oh, did you see that dog hanging out the window? No. Sorry, that was so cute. That dog was like, woo, this is fun. The little wolf went by.
Tyler?
You don't know yet. We don't know yet. Like, we have an inkling, but you gotta imagine, like, us watching the show live.
They're not vampires.
Yeah, we just know that they're not vampires, but we don't know exactly what's going on yet.
They could be witches. They could be something.
Could be something. He filmed a little speech where he says, and this is dedicated to the founding families or whatever. And then it's like completely silent. And then he turns around and he says, enjoy the show. And you look up and there's nothing there. All the fireworks and stuff were CGI, which if you can't tell that, I mean, come on. It's like very...
They did do a pretty good job at making it almost...
They did a pretty good job.
Like when they're standing in the crowd and Elena and Stefan are like running away, you can see like the lights flashing on them. I mean, it was pretty good.
So
it wasn't like Teen Wolf CGI or nothing.
No. I mean, and then for a long time... So we had to hear that over and over and over. And we saw a lot of stuff filmed that night, but I just specifically remember the the mayor's speech, just having to hear it over and over and over. And I was like, oh my God, do they not have the right take yet? Like, what is happening? At the same time, there was a lot of people, a lot of extras in that episode. So any kind of little movement, noise, anything like that, it could ruin the whole thing. We're dealing with it now. Like, if they were filming at the Gilbert house, like right now, the way that we are, there would be somebody directing traffic.
Yep.
And then he'd say, cut, and then they would let the people go. So, like, this is going to be interesting to see how these cars sound in the background. And we do apologize. But, hey.
Bloodlines and Backdrop with ASMR included.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Our special ASMR finale episode.
Bonnie goes to the crowd, and she's like, excuse me. And then she gets that feeling. She bumps into him. She bumps into a tomb vampire.
Just like she did with Stefan in the pilot.
Yes. Just like she did with Stefan in the pilot. We can tell at this point, Bonnie's kind of coming into her own. She took some time after Grams died. And now she's like, I think she took some time to study after Grams died is what I think she did. I think she channeled her anger to become the best version of a Bennett witch that she could be, because she knew she was going to have to be the protector now that Grams was gone. Yeah. Bonnie's back with a vengeance, but at that point, I think Bonnie feels bad that she didn't deactivate the device because of how thankful Damon was. Yeah. Like, I think that she believed him being thankful. She felt bad about it, and this is why we see the action that we see from her later in the episode. She immediately goes to find them. So she's like, I got to figure out what's going on. During that time, Damon is confronting John. And that's going to be inside of Wild Art, which we'll go to for part of the Covington connection. But he's talking shit and he's clicking the device together, and Damon's just sitting there in full confidence that nothing's going to happen. And then the device goes off, and it is crazy. And Damon goes down immediately. And then he is dragged downstairs where they start dragging everyone around. So Stefan goes down.
Anna and everything goes down. They come and get Anna
goes down inside of the Mr. Grill bathroom.
Yes, and then Mayor Lockwood also goes down.
Mayor Lockwood also goes down. He's bleeding from his ear.
Yes, and then Stefan goes down right in front of the steps of the Mystic Grill.
So he goes down right in front of the Mystic Grill, like at the end of the sidewalk. Yeah. So where the sidewalk and the steps end, which will also go there. Yeah. And he goes down right there.
The security guard sees him, starts to walk over, and Alaric runs up and goes, no, I got this one. There's one more over there. Go get him. And then Alaric helps Elena pick Stefan up and hide him.
And that's when they go down the stairs. So they take him down the stairs to try to get him away. Gosh, thank God Alaric was there. I know.
So I actually kind of forgot Alaric was a character. And then when he showed up and did that, I was like, oh, thank God. I do love Alaric's character. I feel like that's a character that really grows on you.
He does.
And not right now, but later on, he definitely does grow on you a lot.
He's getting there. While this is happening, Tyler's driving, because obviously it's his daddy's car. Why would anybody else be driving his car? And he's like, what's that noise? And they're like, what are you talking about, you psycho? Like, he's like, that noise, make it stop. And they're like, we don't hear nothing. And the next thing you know, the car crashes. And it's a pretty decent crash.
It is. But also, how did Tyler just end up, like, laid out on the floor?
Who knows? Television. That's how they want him to be
all of a sudden is just laying, like, broken neck on the ground.
Was he also bleeding from the ear?
No, but he was unconscious.
So he was unconscious, and then they came over with the light, right?
And then Matt, I just want to remind y'all, Matt Donovan is fine. Like, all this shit's happening, Matt Donovan is fine.
He's gonna always be fine.
Yeah, like, nothing happened to Matt in this crash. Tyler got knocked out. Caroline ends up passing out when Matt goes to check on Tyler. But when Matt's checking on Tyler, the paramedic opens his eyes, and that really creepy thing with his eye happens.
Looks like cat eyes almost. Yes, it's very cat-like eyes. And then you start to know, oh, shoot, something's going on.
Yeah,
something's going on with those Lockwood boys. But we don't know yet.
Why is the device affecting them?
I think in the books, they might be what we think they are. But the books have a lot of weird... The books are weird. Anna gets kidnapped. Anna gets found. She's like the last one to get taken.
Yes.
And she gets taken from Jeremy. You know, he's losing it. This is season 1, and Jeremy's already had 2 girlfriends murdered. The odds of that are crazy.
That's all it needs is 3, and I'll be there.
An insane amount of odds. Odds, I mean, every girlfriend, this is why we joke on the tour. If you're Jeremy or Alaric and you even look at a girl, they end up dead. Season 1, 2 girlfriend's dead. Crazy.
But then you have Matt, and Matt gets in a whole wreck, and he's fine, but his girlfriend passes out.
But then she has, like, internal bleeding, which we find out later in the episode. We're like, okay. All that is so weird. All that happens. They get Anna, and let me tell you, Uncle John wastes no time killing her.
I know. I felt so bad because you could see like when she was laying there and she just grabs him and she's scared and like just trying to figure something out. And then Uncle John's an ass, so he just
yeah, he just immediately kills her, no remorse.
And then right after
Damon's watching the whole time.
Yes.
Damon's watching the whole time, and he's thinking, I'm next.
Uncle John like pours the gasoline on everything, and as he goes back up, everything lights on fire. And I told you about this when we talked. But in that scene, as soon as like they light the fire, one of the vampires in front of Anna gets lit on fire and he just like rams his foot into Anna's head and you just watch her like jump. I don't know if it was her or if it was a fake body, but I mean, it looked like it
probably was a fake body.
He like kicked the shit out of her head and her head flew up a little bit.
That would be fun. We do have a burned body somewhere.
Yeah.
We are determined to find it so you guys can see what
that
looks like.
But during that scene, Damon notices Mayor Lockwood.
Yes,
and
so
then
he's like, oh, what's up with that guy? So while all that's happening, Stefan and Alara put 2 and 2 together that Bonnie did not dispel the device. Yes. And Elena's like, no way. And Stefan's like, no, it actually makes complete sense. Why would she, if she's trying to protect you, why would she disarm a device that's going to help the town find all the bad guys? Like, why would she do that? Like, it actually makes complete sense. And in that moment, Stefan didn't seem mad at Bonnie about it. Like, he seemed to understand.
One of them told Elena, I think it was Alaric told her, like, you can't be mad at her for doing that.
No.
Like, she's just doing what she thinks is best.
Yeah, she's doing what she thinks is best, the same way everyone else.
And then Elena's still like, oh my God, no, guys, she would never do that. You don't understand.
And they're like, no, actually she would. We killed her grandma.
Yeah, like, why would she not do it?
Yeah. She comes in clutch because Stefan realizes that Damon's in the building that's on fire and he's going to go in. And Elena's like, please don't go in. And he's like, no, I'm going. And Uncle John says, well, you're probably not coming out. Then he grabs Elena and she's like, you need to let me go. And he's like, I don't need to do that. And she's basically like, well, as my father, I feel like you should. And then he's like, how'd you know? And she's like, well, I didn't until now, bitch.
Yeah. And you just saw him like,
yeah, like he knew in that moment. He's like, oh, dang, I'm caught. I'm caught.
Well,
and then he lets her go. And he lets her go. But Bonnie grabs Elena. Bonnie does not let Elena down. And they don't really explain what happens in this scene, but it seems like she uses Elena's energy to control the fires.
And I was scared she was gonna do some like voodoo something, like she was about to do something to Elena to stop Stefan from coming out.
I was also worried about that. I was worried that it was gonna be like another Tomb Vampire thing where she was like, they're not coming out. Like, let them in, they're not coming out. I was really
worried about that.
Yeah, because you think for a moment that Bonnie's like back, and then you're like, maybe she's not.
Yeah, yeah. And then she helps bring the fire down, and then Stefan can run in. And thank God he does do the vamp speed this time. I know we talked before on the podcast that sometimes he just doesn't use it when he should.
He doesn't use it.
And then he runs down there, grabs Damon, and runs back up.
Yeah, doesn't grab anyone else, by the way. I don't know if anyone else was alive, but he was like, I don't really care about it.
And I think we forgot to mention it, but Mayor Lockwood is dead. He died.
Oh, yeah.
He died.
He got. The Tomb Vampires, they did their last due diligence and they took out one of the founding family members, which was their plan the entire time. The next scene between Elena and Stefan gets on my nerves because she's having to reassure his little fragile ego that she just loves him. She said, I love you, Stefan. I love you, Stefan. I love you, Stefan. And I'm just like, in that moment, why would she need to prove that? She was about to run into a burning building for you.
See, here's where me and you are different, though. I love the teenage love triangle. Oh, I love you, but I also love this one. Like, I love the nagging about that.
I don't dislike the triangle so much. I mean, I don't like that it's brothers. I think that I just like how... I just like how insecure he is. I just don't like how insecure he is because she has not given him a reason not to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Like everything that's been going on has been Damon being flirty.
He's
Damon
also scared history's repeating itself,
right?
Because
but that's still not Elena's fault.
No, it's Damon.
It's Damon's fault. So yeah, so I'm just like, man, maybe chill out a little bit. Especially after like 2 episodes ago, you were blood raging and throwing her up against the wall and like being really abusive and stuff. So she's still here, bro. Maybe you just chill out for a minute. Yeah, like she has to console his little ego. Which y'all, I'm Stefan fans. I'm just saying this one scene with him annoyed me. Damon gets back to the house and Jeremy's like, "Why are you here?" And Damon says, "I'm sorry, but Anna's dead."
Yes.
And Jeremy's like, okay.
He really is. He's like, he's not even sad about Anna because he tells Damon, he's like, when you took it away for Vicky, it's not gone. I still feel lonely and empty. And then didn't say anything about Anna. Not like
we're like, okay, if Hot Topic was a teenage boy on a vampire show, it would be Jeremy Gilbert. It was such a little emo. I wrote that he was being a little emo boy.
It should have been the Jeremy Diaries, and we just go over every girlfriend he has.
I know. But Damon did apologize for Vicky.
Yeah.
And I do think he meant it.
I feel like Damon's on like a AA trip right now.
Is,
like he went to Vampires Anonymous.
Damon's about to piss me off though. But yes, I do think he was like, let me get the apologies out of the way before I really cross the line here in a little bit.
And apologize on everybody this whole episode. That's really what it was.
That's basically what it was. Yeah. That is basically what it was. Oh, back at the hospital, Caroline's like dying or something, right?
Internal bleeding.
Apparently she's got internal bleeding. She's being rushed into surgery. And then Sheriff Forbes says to Tyler, hey, you need to call your mom. It's about your dad.
Yeah.
We know he is going to tell him that his dad is unfortunately dead. And you know what I noticed this episode? I actually thought the casting, I didn't realize how good the casting was, but Rob and Tyler look a lot alike. I mean, the actors, Rob and Michael.
Yeah.
They look a lot alike. They did a very good job, like, casting
I kind of feel that way about Marguerite and Candace.
Yeah,
they
Marguerite,
look a lot alike. I couldn't remember if it was Marguerite.
I agree with that. Yeah, I really felt that just looking at Rob, like, towards the end of the episode, or Mayor Lockwood. I think it's Richard in the episode, Richard Lockwood. But yeah, I just thought that. I was like, oh, it's good casting. Jeremy drinks Anna's blood, and then he dumps out Elena's pain pills. How many pain pills does she have?
Did you see how hot his hands were? That felt like a 2003 music video. He's like dumping it out, and she hear like Amy Lee going on in the background.
All like Y2K.
And he looks so like his hands were all veiny, and he's cripping them up for some reason.
He absolutely was so hot in this episode. I do agree with you. Even like suicidal Jeremy was still hot.
Yeah.
Whiny, okay, he was whiny, but he was still hot. When he poured out the pills, I'm like, okay, she got in the wreck. Mm-hmm. Did she take any of them? You and Vicky were stealing them when y'all were partying and all this, and she still has a whole bottle left. Like, it seemed like too many pills.
What pain pills were they? Did it say it on the bottle?
I think they were like Percocets or something. I don't know that it says they're oxycodones or something. I don't know if it says it on the bottle. I guess we should look. Let's pull it up for
Mystic Falls pain relief.
Yeah, like it's Tylenol 800.
Well, no, you don't even get that when you get birth.
She gets in an accident on May 24th, which is coming up.
Maybe we can recreate it. I'll drive my car off the bridge.
It's Cinco de Mayo, everybody.
Is that today?
Yeah, that is today. Today's Cinco de Mayo. Yeah.
I thought it was May the 5th.
Oh, it is May the 5th. I should have got some Modelo. I messed up. A little inconsistency in the writing that you wouldn't pick up unless you were someone like me.
Yeah, I think you're reading too
I know.
deep into
I'm like really neurotypical.
I'm like, oh yeah, his hands are so hot. And Amber's like, why the fuck does he have so many pills?
Yeah, he's got so many pills. They already took those pills.
I think you're worried about the wrong thing.
I probably am, but I do nitpick. Bonnie runs into Stefan at this point, and she's like, hey, I saved y'all for Elena, but don't mess with me. I know who I am now. I'm not playing around. Like, I will take y'all down. I will take Damon down if he drops a ounce of blood, drip of blood. If he drops any blood, and if you get in my way, he dead too. Elena and Damon on the porch. Now, I was out right here behind us.
Right here.
So this is the whole reason why we chose this for the location. Mm-hmm. I was out here for filming that night.
Yeah.
And it's very known that Amber is a Stefan fan. I think I said before that the last episode was my first picture with Damon. I was actually wrong about that. This episode is when I get my first picture with Ian, and I get my first picture with Steve McQueen. Mm-hmm. We're out here watching filming. They had us across the street down a little bit, and we're watching, and you got to remember, they're always a few episodes ahead. Catherine has not shown up yet from what we've seen on TV, so none of us have any inkling to think that this is anyone but Elena. They don't just make out. They make out. Like, it's hot and heavy, right? And Damon gives this spill about how he's doing the wrong thing and trying to, whatever it is he's saying.
Yeah.
But what makes me so upset in this scene is that he spent the entire episode going on his apology tour and telling Stefan that he didn't have anything to worry about when it came to his girl. And then, boom.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Which, honestly,
you couldn't have waited another day?
I really liked when they were doing it, and in the show, Damon, he's like looking like up and down, like at her mouth. I thought that was a good little. You could tell he looked nervous doing it, and then
he was waiting for the okay, which she never did. But she did give the okay, but she didn't because it was like kind of with her eyes.
She didn't back away.
She didn't back away.
Yeah, and I think that's what he was waiting on.
And I think the fandom also at this point was like, how did he not know that she was a vampire?
I might be wrong, but next season I think that gets brought up. because I think Stefan tells
I think that he tries to play off like he knew it was her, but I don't think that he did.
No, I don't think
because I think that after everything that Damon has been through at the expense of Catherine, if he knew that was Catherine right there in that moment, he would have ripped her heart out.
Because Damon still loves Catherine, though. That's why he's so obsessed with Elena in this moment, is because he still loves Catherine. Stefan wants nothing to do with Catherine.
Stefan wants nothing.
And I think that's why some people can tell that it's her, because he wants nothing to do with her.
And maybe Damon's just blind to it.
I think he is. I think he's just so blind to it because he's still so in love with Catherine.
Well, he still betrayed Stefan at the end of the episode, and I'm not happy about it. You remember just a few minutes ago, I said Stefan's little ego was getting on my nerves because he had to be reassured, and it's like, well, this is why.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it wasn't Elena.
Yeah.
And Elena wouldn't do that yet. But
it's still the fact that Damon was going to do that. He was thinking it was Elena.
And not even just like a little test kiss, just, they would have went upstairs if Aunt Jenna hadn't opened the door. Now, that is one of the few episodes that they actually opened the door here.
Yes, so, you can see the catwalk, and there's no catwalk in the show.
So this is one of the few episodes. So it's just to be very clear, they never filmed inside of the Gilbert house here. That was a stage set. I think we said this before.
Actually, too, I want to put this
Vancouver.
in here. You can find the Zillow listing for this house. And if you find it, you'll see at the time that they were filming and the time they were selling it, all the rooms in the house were like crazy colors. They were like electric purple, bright green, pink. And obviously that's not what the house looked like on the show while they were filming.
Not at all.
That's another kind of way you can kind of tell that they never filmed inside of here.
They replicated the house they used in the pilot episode at the stages. Now, there were times where, yes, they would open the door here, and if they could stand at the door and you didn't see the inside of the house, then that made things easier.
They try to block it with their body.
Yes.
And, like Damon, when Damon comes out, he kind of cracks it. You can see, like, the catwalk inside of this house, but he steps out very fast and closes that door. You don't really focus on it.
Yeah, it's not something that you really focus on.
When Aunt Jenna opens the door to her body, the camera's kind of, like, over here at an angle, and her body is, like, standing perfectly in the doorway.
Is just open enough the size of her.
For her to open it, yeah.
And she's like, it's time to come inside now. You need to get in the house, young lady.
Quit making out with that grown man.
Why are you making out with a grown man?
Your boyfriend's brother.
17 years old. Oh my God.
Doesn't she tell that when they get inside? Jenna's like, what are you doing, Elena?
And she's like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. If it was me, I would have grabbed her by her ear and dragged her ass upstairs, and we'd be having a conversation about why you're making out with this old man out on the porch.
And also, poor Jenna. She's literally just trying to raise her sister's
I know,
kids.
Jenna's like, damn, I wanted that one. She's like, yeah, I thought he was hot.
I was supposed to win him at the raffle.
Yeah, she's like, dang, sister, I wanted bachelor number 5. God dang it, now my niece is my competition.
I'm just stuck with Alaric.
Right?
The lame-ass history teacher.
That's so funny. Uncle John's at the house. Mm-hmm. And he's explaining to Elena why he did what he did when it came to Isabel. And he hopes that she understands. And is there anything I can do to help you? And, And then she's like, yeah. It takes a knife, slices his fingers off. And then you're like, oh, that's not Elena.
And in that scene, that's when it gets obvious. Okay, this is not the way she's like, you can tell it's not Elena.
You can tell.
Yeah.
And she's not conversational at all.
No.
And also, like, after the way you and Elena left things, of course you would expect the vibe to be off. Not like that.
No. Well, that's just like, we didn't, like, when Catherine walks up and Damon comes out, you see her, like, get startled a bit. She did not expect him to come out of that doorway.
No, I don't think she did. And I think that she is just waiting, like, at any moment, something was going to happen to where she was going to get caught, right?
Yes,
and I think that she just didn't want to get caught before she was able to do what she needed to do, which was cut off his fingers. Mm-hmm. She cuts off his fingers because she wanted to cut off the Gilbert ring, and she's like, I'll just take the whole hand, basically. She left him a thumb, I think.
Does he ever get those back?
I don't know.
I can't remember if he gets them back or not. I can't imagine he doesn't not have them, right?
I honestly can't remember. I feel like he's all nubs the next episode, but I might be wrong.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to have to pay attention to that as we go along. Because I also thought of that, because I thought, me and Amber found a fork one day, which will come up eventually, but we were like, oh yeah, that's when, like, Catherine stabs Uncle John. I didn't realize she took off all 4 fingers.
Yeah, I had forgot too, until we started watching the episode, and I was like, oh my God, like, she was just, like, brutal.
And then they have the tubes, like, squirting the blood out too.
There's blood everywhere. And then Elena comes home. and she hears some ruffling in the kitchen, and then the episode ends.
And then the Vampire Diaries logo comes up.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's
the old Vampire Diaries logo. You realize it's different, right?
No.
The logo changes throughout the seasons, but the original Vampire Diaries was more stylized. Like, it was more gothic looking, I guess you could say. It looks like Jeremy took all the pills.
Yeah.
So well, it looks like Jeremy took all the pills, and then he lays down. And can we just talk about how uncomfortable it was how much they zoomed in on his face?
Yeah, because he like lays down on the pillow, and then like it's like just shot up of him like crying.
There's another time in the series that they do this when there's a major character that's dying. I'm not going to say which one it is right now. And the way they zoom in on the face, I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Like, it's so uncomfortable. They zoom in so much on his face, and he's like crying, laying down, like knowing that this is the end. I'm gonna die. This is the end. Yeah. And I'm just like, well, guess we'll see you next episode. That's it. That's Founders Day, y'all. And that is the last episode of season 1. Yeah. Season 1 of Bloodlines and Backdrops is a wrap.
Hey guys, it's Jessica from Vampire Stalkers, and we're going to talk about the finale episode. I've had some family stuff, so I won't be able to film the entire podcast with Presley and Amber, but they're going to totally take care of you. They know just as much as me. For the finale episode, though, it's really fun. I wanted to kind of jump in here and talk about it because we were actually extras in the episode. So I watched some film and I was an extra in some of it. A fun fact when you're an extra is that you can't talk to the cast. So at that point, I had kind of gotten to know them pretty well. It was a little bit harder for me because they would talk to me and then the crew guys would look at me like, I told you not to talk to them. So, you know, it was a little bit harder. As much fun as it was to be an extra and be a part of it and see things that we're filming. Before you saw them and before I saw them on TV, it was more fun to watch filming, I think. At the end, we kind of learned that we would rather spend our time on the side of the road. That way they could come over and they could take pictures and we could see all the different ins and outs without also having to stand up for the whole 20 some odd hours it took to film. We'll start with extra stuff. So parade episode. That was the only episode ever filmed on the square on a Sunday. So that's kind of neat to know. Back then, most of our businesses were closed. You know, Vampire Diaries rejuvenated Covington. So at that point, there wasn't a lot happening on the square. So it wasn't a big deal to close on Sunday. And most businesses did close on Sundays. They actually hired as many extras as they could, locals especially, trying to get that feel of having an entire group of every generational pool you could have to be watching the town square parade for the school for Founders Day. So that was, you know, neat to do. So we went in, but they also put up signs on the corner of each area where you would come into the square. And that was a little fun thing because the sign said we're filming on the square. So if you still want to come up and watch, you can come up and watch, but you're going to be on the show and you were kind of releasing your image to that. Now, I was not part of the just walk up and do that. I actually was paid to be there, and it doesn't pay what you wish it would pay. So just saying, it was still fun. And my husband, me, and a friend of mine at the time, we actually filmed all the scenes for the parade. I have some screenshots where you can pretty much see me. The ladies will put those up for you. My friend at the time, she has pink hair instead of me. So you'll be able to kind of tell where it's at. We were actually standing, if you've got the pathway in front of the Mystic Grill and you're looking this way. So clock tower, so to the left right there, we were standing there. So we were standing in the spot beside where Ian Somerhalder, who plays Damon, actually does to Elena when she is on the float with Stefan. And I will admit that my husband had to remind me because my memory is kind of going with age. But there was a really good scene with Marcos. Now, Marcos Ciego was the director of the first season. Vampire Diaries did this thing where they would actually jump from director to director in each episode. But the first season was almost solely directed by Marcos Ciego with the help of others. So he actually does a lot of really cool stuff. Dexter, that's his baby. He actually got really upset at Ian because he told Ian beforehand, he said, now don't do the eye thing. And of course, Ian goes and does the eye thing. And he slammed down his clipboard and he stomped off because he told him not to do it and everybody took a break. And then they used it anyway. So that's a little fun, little neat thing to know. Kat Graham, she became a good friend of ours throughout filming. She was there obviously for those scenes as well. She came over, she talked to us. We had a great time filming. It was a long day though. I will say a long, long, long day. being a Sunday. The float that you see go around, they donated to the city of Covington afterwards, so that's neat. We actually utilize it in our parades now. We've used it for a lot of our fan appreciation stuff throughout the years, and we'll see if we can do that this year when we have our next event coming up, October, I was just saying. Then we'll go into some of the filming aspect of it. So they did have a lot of tents on the square, as you saw, the stage set up with Mrs. Lockwood when she's up there speaking, all of that directly in the same area with the clock tower behind them. That's your sweet spot usually. They filmed the scenes with Matt and Caroline and Tyler's wreck, if you remember that. That one was really cool. It happened kind of behind scoops. Michael Trevino, who played Tyler, he actually came running over to us. It was really funny. He asked me if I needed to borrow some socks, because it was cold outside. Yeah, I'm just saying, it was really cold that night. I don't know why. It was hot that day, but it was cold that night, and that is Georgia. He came over. I asked him if he could tell us what he had just filmed, and he, of course, was like, no, I can't tell you anything. I'm not even supposed to be here, that type of thing. They were great about doing that, especially in the first couple of seasons. They had a little bit more leeway to come over more and talk to fans and stuff, and that's what we appreciated, and that's how we got to know them. Can't wait to see you guys in the next season, so bye.
So here we are at Wild Art. As you can see, this is our Grayson Gilbert office. This is also going to be someone else's office down the road, but we're not going to talk about that. This is going to be the building that Uncle John is inside of when he puts the device together. The device goes off and Damon hits the ground. They're inside this building. So this is an art store. And they also do ghost tours. This is a really great spot to come to if you're in Covington. If you come around the corner, you come up and there is a side door right here. They obviously can't open it. What am I doing? That is the door that Stefan runs into when he goes to save Damon. So it's right out here that Bonnie grabs Elena, stops her from going inside, and then uses her energy to control the fires. And then Stefan comes back out of this same door. Okay, so if you come up right here, this is going to be the area where all the tomb vampires are meeting. They're having a conversation. If you notice, they have on the orange shirts. They also have the banner on it, which we do have the Founders Day banner that we will show you at some point. You've probably seen it all season, though. It's permanently on the wall in the podcast room. They start to head up and make their way into the crowd for the finale. Now, these two windows above us here on the corner, that is going to be Sheriff Forbes' office. They did film inside of Sheriff Forbes' office, so when Uncle Daddy John knocks her out, it is inside of this building. They use this again in the upcoming season as well. And then if you make your way right here, at the end, this part, as you can see, we're at the top of the stairs where the Mystic Grill is. Here's the Mystic Grill. Right here is going to be where when the device goes off, Stefan hits the ground and Elena tries to console him. Alaric comes from over here and helps him out. So this is going to be where I met Stephen Queen for the first time, and I got my picture with him that day. And then the footage that we have of the t-shirt in the visitor center that he signed for Angie is going to be this shirt he was wearing in this episode that I have a picture with him in. Shirt that he changes into whenever he is done with the parade, and then also when he takes the pills and he lays down at night. The other thing to note about that is we talked to Jessica, and Jessica gave you her side of the story as an extra. I was also supposed to be an extra in that episode, but instead I ditched my job because there were so many cast members out here. I was like, there's no way. I want to meet everybody. I want to see what's going on. I didn't want to break the rules. I wanted to do it fairly. However, that did lead to me getting blacklisted for the next season. So I was not allowed to be an extra again until season 3, which we'll talk about in season 3. I did ditch being an extra, and it was worth it because I got a picture with Ian and a picture with Steven. MVP of the episode. Where are we going with that? Where are you going with your MVP?
I honestly didn't pick one. I didn't pick one, and I decided that I was going to improvise it right here, right now. And after talking about everything, I think that I'm going to go with Damon.
I would have said Damon until the pork shit. Damon had me the whole episode until the end.
I feel like he was trying to do good. And also there was one part, I can't remember who he's talking to, where he's like basically crying. He was talking to Jeremy. It was when he was talking to Jeremy. He's like crying to Jeremy, and it was just really weird.
Well, he tells him, he said, I wanted to help her.
Yeah. And he just seemed very emotional, and the whole thing with Elena on the porch, which honestly, I think he was just an emotional wreck.
Yeah.
And he just wanted some comfort, and I think that's why he kissed her. I don't think it was like a malicious thing. exhausting.
Well, he did have me until then because I was like, dang, this is the most genuine Damon's ever been this whole episode. And then he did that and it really peed me off. I put Bonnie. I know everybody's pissed that she didn't deactivate the device, but I don't think in the moment she was thinking that it would kill Damon and Stefan.
No. I mean, if she would have deactivated it, we wouldn't have got this episode. So
That's true. She put everything aside to save them again, even after everything that they've done with Grams. I mean, because it's clearly Damon's fault about Grams. Bonnie's my MVP for this episode. I mean, you could also say Anna for going in and getting the info. I wrote down too. I said, but also Anna because, she warned everyone and gave her life for it, basically.
Shit, I forgot Anna died this episode. Yeah, that could have also been Anna.
So I would say Bonnie and Anna, I think, were mine. She says Damon. So you guys decide. You let us know. My quote of the episode, you can go to hell, Elena. That's my quote of the episode. I love it. I love when she's like, is there anything we can do to fix this? And he's like, you can go to hell, Elena.
My phone's on 4%, but I'm going to pull it out just so I can get this quote right. So the quote is, you made out with his mother and then beat him to a pulp. You're going to have to do better than sorry, which is Caroline when she's talking to Tyler. Yeah. I thought that was so funny.
That's a good, and honestly, she's right. Yeah. She's right. And maybe don't get in a car crash and almost kill his girlfriend. That doesn't help either, Tyler.
Well, Elena's dad's dead. Tyler's dad's dead. Caroline's dad's gay.
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
Damon and Stefan's dad's dead.
He's been dead.
Maybe that's why all these problems are going on. It's a dadless show.
Yeah, there ain't enough dads. Where are all these young men's role models? You know? All their dads left to get cigarettes and never came back.
They never got their milk.
The parenting on this show is horrific. There are no good parents on this show. Anjan is trying. Cher Forbes is trying.
If you really asked me, like, if you showed me a photo and I didn't know and it was like Jenna and then Nina, like, together, I would just think that they're supposed to be the same age.
Well, they are in real life. They're very close to the same age.
Yeah, like,
when they recorded Sarah Canning, who's coming to our Lockwood party.
Hey, Sarah.
I think Nina was 21 and she was like 24. So
that's so funny.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like the younger sister, but I mean, she's like barely older than them in real life. And that is how season 1 of the Vampire Diaries ends. Catherine's back. John's bleeding out on the kitchen floor. Jeremy's upstairs with Anna's blood in his system and a bottle of pills, and nobody in that house knows anything that's going on. Mystics Falls spent all season trying to stay in control, and in one night it burned down, literally. Y'all, season 1 of Bloodlines and Backdrops is a wrap, and I cannot thank you enough for rewatching every single episode with us. This has been everything. Like, this has been a really fun season. We're just getting started. Yep. Season 2 is coming, and we're gonna level up. We've got cast interviews in the works, more behind the scenes stuff from right here in Covington, even more insider access that you're not going to want to miss. Make sure you guys use hashtag Bloodlines and Backdrops and tell us how you're surviving this season. And let us know what you're most excited about for season 2, what you'd like to see. We have some really good cast interviews lined up for season 2. I'm very excited.
Y'all know what I'm excited about? I'm excited for the show to actually get good at this point. This is like the best part of the show.
Season 2 and season 3 are my favorite seasons.
It's been a very slow start, and even on the podcast, I feel like now going in season 2, there's so much more we can talk about. There's so many more things that happen.
The action is going to pick up. It's going to pick up.
I'm very excited.
Until then, stay safe, stay vampy, and remember in Mystic Falls, nothing is ever as it seems.